meeting to order of the Matawan County Regional School District Board of Education. The time is now 6:32. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or agreed upon. In accordance with the provision of this act, the Matawan Regional School District Board of Education advertised this meeting on August 13th, 2024 in the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger. These notices were sent to the municipal clerks of the Borough of Matawan and the Township of Aberdeen and the Matawan Public Library. These notices were also placed on the district's website. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have roll call?
Ms. Vilas?
Here.
Ms. Martinez?
Here.
Mr. McGovern?
Here.
Mr. Montone?
Here.
Ms. Stout?
Here.
Ms. Burrell? Ms. Warnicki?
Here.
Mrs. Foley?
Here.
Ms. Powell?
Can I have a motion and a second to, I guess I'll read the resolution first. Be it resolved that a closed session be convened for the purpose of discussing privacy, personnel, and legal matters. The subject matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. Although the board cannot guarantee it, the length of the executive session is estimated to be 30 minutes, after which the public meeting of the board shall reconvene and proceed with business. Action will take place. Can I have a motion and a second to go into executive session?
All motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
We're in executive session. Okay, can I have a motion and a second to return to, do we have to end exec? Yes, I'm sorry. I need a motion and a second to end exec.
I'll second.
Okay, and then we're already here. Yeah. So, okay. Okay, so moving to the next part. Thank you, everybody. Sorry for the delay. It's been a little longer than we anticipated. Okay, so moving on, we were talking about the minutes. Can I have a motion and a second to accept the minutes as presented, the regular action meeting July 25th and exec session meeting 1 and 2 July 25th?
All motion. I'll second.
Okay. Okay, and my apologies. Can I have a motion? Thankfully, hopefully people got to see all of the emails today when Chris forwarded them. Can I have a motion and a second to accept the correspondence to the board as listed in the agenda? Thank you. Okay, can we have the superintendent's report?
So I'm going to start with some updates before Mr. Lehman gives the report for him. So we're super excited about opening day. We're winding down to finalizing schedules across the board from pre-K all the way through 12th grade. We're finalizing our plans with our staff opening, which we will have all staff at the high school that first day when they come back. So we're excited about that. We will also be serving lunch for all staff, so we'll send out an invite to all the board members. The PTOs will be involved. They'll be there as well. And we do have a great guest speaker as well. In terms of opening day and just getting back into the swing of things, we will be sharing out those 3 handbooks that you did review, and they will have to sign off that they reviewed on Genesis, so we're setting all of that up. All students will receive their schedules in the parent portal by August 26th. Parent portal will be open to start doing the forms and seeing that information. The YMCA, we're pretty full. Pre-K to 5. MAMS, we have about 4 families for the morning and 5 for the afternoon, 0 for Friday, and we will continue to push that. And we also anticipate that once school starts that we will have some additional registrations as well. The website will be finalized for October as well. Some exciting activities besides back to school night before we even start posting those on August 30th. The supervisor of athletics invited AYL, all of the little kids. They'll be out on the field joining our teams for August 30th. And then September 6th, we will also have a special game where we will be recognizing staff members that have served in the military. So we can get those final information and times and everything else.
Thank you. And evening report.
Thank you. Good evening. Twice a year, the school district board that HIB and student safety data is submitted to the New Jersey Department of Education. Report period 2 data, which is collected from January 1st through June 30th of 2024, has been successfully uploaded to the Department of Ed's secure portal. The data reflects the HIB reports that have been previously shared with the board and approved on the agenda each month throughout this report period. This signifies that we are compliant with certification data, and that concludes the HIB report.
Thank you. Are there any questions about the report?
Just one, Mr. Lehman, in terms of the HIB report, the numbers, the overall numbers, those compared to the same time period last year, correct, those have gone down, right? We've seen a decrease in HIB reports coming through.
We have actually since the 21-22 school year, which we probably saw one of our biggest peaks, the numbers have come down drastically from 21-22, and then so year to year, this building in particular has had the greatest drop in that time period, followed then by high school and then middle school. Yes.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, moving on to the board president's report. This will be short. I just wanted to thank everybody for our work over spring and into summer on the board goals, which is in the agenda today. And looking forward with that, I think that we'll need to kind of, leadership can work with admin on this about how there's quite a bit on the board goals about being involved in the budget. And so how do we practically do that? I think that's something we can have as a discussion and bring it back to the board as some ideas. Also, piggybacking on Perez's updates about the football games coming, other fun activities this fall, but I will reshare the calendar of important dates and it'll be updated so that try to get back into communicating more. I feel like some of this is my fault that it fell off a little bit. So yeah, I mean, I think we're on track, and if you were following along with NJSBA's calendar, we are still on track. So thanks to the administration and all of you for that. Does anybody have any questions about that stuff? Oh, also, I'm sorry, I'm remiss. I wanted to thank everybody that's been working on the committees because the policy committee did some great work just over the course of this summer, and we actually can consider something on this agenda that I didn't honestly think could be done in time, so I'm very impressed. And also the Cultural Awareness Committee, I'm happy to hear that that's moving along, and I'm just looking forward to more participation by everybody. That's what's just so great about being with this group of folks. Everybody's involved and interested, and I'd really like to see that. Okay, so I guess does anybody have any questions? Okay.
Yes. I'm not sure, not really a question, well, kind of. The board goals that was listed, was that corrected? Yes. Oh, thank you.
Okay, moving on, there is no student representatives report, so I think we can go to the curriculum and instruction agenda.
Thank you. We have several walkthroughs throughout the agenda tonight. The first one is for curriculum and instruction, so it's page 1 of 1. So this is curriculum instruction walking item. This is for action. It's number 1, other. There's a resolution that we're asking the board to approve as listed on the walk-in. And to the regular agenda, also for action this evening, curriculum and instruction, we're asking the board to approve item A, travel. We're asking the board to approve under item B, other. Item number 1, which is revisions and updates to the curriculum. Item number 2, which is an annual appointment of our evaluation model. Item 3, it's an annual approval of our district professional development plan. Item number 4 is a continuation. This is a component of our evaluation model. Item number 5 is to approve an annual approval of curricula and textbooks for the upcoming school year. Item number 6 is to approve a field trip. Item number 7 is to approve a presentation at the high school. Item number 8 is to approve curriculum materials. Item number 9 is to approve district committee members. And item number 10, which begins on page 3 and continues through page 17, would be field trips for the 24-25 school year. That concludes curriculum instruction.
Can I have a motion and a second to accept the agenda?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Are there any other questions and comments about the curriculum instruction agenda? Aside from looking forward to all of these trips.
I love the trips, that's what I was going to say. And I like that a lot of them are right here in the community, and also really varied, like the groups that are going and the care that's, the Vietnam Memorial, we have State Capitol, we have for the African Americans, maybe they're doing some of the things with history, so I like that.
And Broadway's back.
Yes, I saw that. I thought of you. I saw that.
It brings a lot of, you're mentioning things like, I just see a lot of community resources on here that it's good to get some familiarity with, like, just flipping through Freehold Courthouse. Like this, it's just good to be able to see that. So that's something that before you're an adult, before you're out in the world, you've seen our county seat and the courthouse, which is certainly, it's an enormous building that's right in the middle.
And the borough's mansion, which is right on the street.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know I used to live in Brooklyn, so I know the owner of Christian, and they started that from the ground up. And it was a family-run business, so not only is it teaching them like that, but teaching the kids about being entrepreneurs and stuff like that. That's good.
Okay, great, fantastic. Moving on to, this is student services next.
Student services, we are asking the board to approve. Item number 1 is a revision, which was previously approved on a prior agenda. This is for out-of-district tuition. Item number 2 is also out-of-district placement. Item number 3 is for keys tuition, and item number 4 also for tuition extraordinary aid. That concludes student services.
Can I have a motion and a second to accept the student services agenda?
I'll motion.
Are there any questions or comments about this agenda? Okay, moving on to personnel.
So personnel, we have several walk-ins, so we'll split out a little bit, make sure we have them all. So we'll start with walk-in item 4, action 1A and 1B as listed. Both are staff array changes for the 24-25 school year. So that's the first walk-in for action. The next walk-in item, page 101, item 1C, with information as listed for action. Third walk-in item, it's 4 pages, so I'll go through some of this and we'll see where it connects to the regular agenda. So the walk-in item is for action. Item number 1, resignation as listed. Item number 2, 3 staff members is listed for leave of absences with respective dates. Item number 3, appointments for the 24-25 school year. This is really why we're doing walk-ins. We never at the last minute some new hire appointments. So names as listed for appointments. Item number 4 on the walk-in, staff array changes with primarily our overloads for the upcoming school year, which continues on page 3 of 4. And on page 4 of the walk-in item for action, instructional assistants who hold their substitute teaching certificates so they can act as substitute teachers in the 24-25 school year. And item number 6 is salary correction. So that's walk-in items. To the personnel agenda for action. We have additional resignations and retirements under section A is listed. We have additional leave of absence under B. We have additional appointments listed under C number 1. Page 204, item number 2, summer 24 staff recommendations. This is to fill out to wrap up some summer work. Item number 3, summer workshop professional development for pre-K. On page 3 of 4, item number 4 is to approve staff reviews during orientation. Item number 5, additional staff rate changes for the upcoming school year. Item 6 is for college student observers. On page 404, item number 7, we have 2 staff members who are volunteering for high school athletics. And under D other, there are no HIBs for this particular report. Item number 2 under others, student registration, so staff members in charge of registration. Item number 3 is a rehire list correction, 4 is a job description, and 5 is a transportation handbook. That concludes the personnel agenda, including walk-ins.
All right. Oh, can I have a motion and a second to accept the personnel agenda? Are there any questions about the personnel agenda?
Just a few things. I know I have written some questions, and I know that we had mentioned it's a concern about the monitor at the middle school. I know you said that you had posted or that it's being posted. Moving forward with our security plan, I'd love to be able to make sure that's covered moving forward. And then I wanted to say also, Tara, that resignation for, I don't know how to say her last name. She's been with us for so long, and she was wonderful, sad to see her go. One, I would think this is Nick Wyman. He was a student with us. He's a new teacher, elementary public. If that's who it is, my son's friend. I think that's what it is. It's so nice to see the kids, some of the kids come back. So I think that might be my son's friend. And then as far as the high school counseling, what is the plan?
Resignation.
Resignation.
We are posting. Also, and I know I've talked to Ms. Case about this, but the transportation handbook, just to make sure that we make the revisions so it's consistent with the contract. Before it goes out, any parents, any of our staff. Oh, and also, Ms. Berger, we're always sad to see teachers go, that, especially the ones that have been in the district for a long time, and she's another teacher that I'm sad to see. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments about personnel? Okay, moving on to policy.
Policy agenda, the superintendent is recommending to the board for item number 1 under policy, second reading for approval adoption of policies that are listed under number 1. And item number 2, this is the first and second reading for approval and adoption of policy 5516.02. It's important, as noted under item number 2, that we're asking the board to suspend the rules of bylaw 0131 requiring 2 board readings to adopt the policy and adopt policy 5516.02 with 1 reading to have this policy effective for September 1st, 2024. That concludes policy.
The motion and a second to accept the policy agenda.
I'll motion.
And I did want to note that as far as I know, when this agenda was posted online for the benefit of the public, that the policy, the one that is both first and second reading, was available. Yes.
Ms. Pell, can I just give a quick update?
Yes.
I have a question. I had asked Ms. Case just to give us a heads up or a reminder where we're at with the facilities.
I just need it sent to me so that because we can't change any of the access to the policy.
Okay. Because I know you said you were going to check with O&M and then
And we
pricing.
sent it over, but I guess the writing is about six
Okay.
points. You can just send it.
Okay, all right, so the facilities, yeah, that would be awesome, because I know I want to get that done for you for opening. The other thing was the cell phone policy in the handbook was a little bit different than this policy. I know we said we were going to make sure, I guess it was just about usage in the hall.
They're revised.
Okay. And then we talked about the office phones. Is that something that, what you guys wanted to do, decided they were going to use an office phone? 'Cause that's,
They're using an office phone.
Okay.
From it, definitely. They're using an office phone, definitely K-8. The high school might confirm it, but I believe it's the office phone. I think they're using, going to the office to use the phone. Their family.
right. I think in the policy, if I'm correct, it was, they could actually use their phone, but in the office, just permission type of idea, right? Am I correct in saying that? Yeah.
And I was also in the questions with you saying, could we please have the uniform? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it opens up way too much of a student suddenly pulling out their phone.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know, students will then be asking to call their parents to go to the office so they can pull out their phone and check out their things. So old school, we were all fine. It was an emergency. The man lined it up perfectly.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to the policy committee too, because I have to be honest, these guys really, so we had our meeting on Thursday, our last meeting. We were told that, thumbs up, get a policy together, and these guys, I was not available all weekends. By Saturday night, it was in my inbox that they had done it. So these guys really were the three that did that. I looked through it and we just moved it along. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate admin and us being annoying and asking, please, let's go, we want to get this done. So my only thought is that, like I had asked, moving forward, the committee to please staff, kids, admin, everybody's on the same page, that there is a policy, that they can see it, it's visual, so that we can all just start out the year and nobody says, oh, I didn't know, type of thing. So thank you again. And then hazardous, I know Ms. Perez updated at the last meeting as far as things that we're doing. If you, would it be okay for you to just reiterate that? So we have breakfast at the high school. I don't want to misspeak or forget something.
So K-5 has before and after care. And some of the families that were concerned, I reviewed the list. I actually asked for a few names from the YMCA. They were able to say that they did register the before and after care. So those families did do that. In terms of middle school, we have YMCA before and after. And at the high school, we have the breakfast club, and we will also have the late bus. And usually the late bus was really for kids that are participating. We are going to be flexible in terms of if they're not participating, but they're staying after school just to meet their teacher or something like that. They'll be eligible to do that. So the families that I've spoken with will be taking the opportunity to utilize the late bus to get home. So it also encourages, so the families that we've spoken to, we're trying to encourage the students to actually get involved in any of the extracurricular clubs and things like that after school. Where we did see in terms of looking at the data that we shared before that there were 25 family members, unfortunately, that they're not taking the bus and they're waiting for the bus, but unfortunately that's just not enough to have a bus and add another bus. So we will monitor attendance at the beginning of the school year, making sure that the students who are taking the bus to see if there will be any additional. And then the other key piece is that when looking at Group 34, which the policy committee brought to our attention, Group 34, while there were quite a few families that lived along or across 34 where they would have to cross 34. Out of that list, there were 6 family members, 6 to 8 family members that actually utilized the subscription vessel. So the students or the families that have more of a concern in looking at the information is really our freshmen. So, and that is understandable, right? Because they don't know high school yet, they don't know any of the clubs, they don't know any of the school, like they're just learning and they're trying to find their way through, so they're nervous, and that's the parents are too. So we were able to identify those particular families as well. But it looks like the questions that were coming up about 34 are coming from our freshman families, just so you guys.
Thank you for the update. And lastly, about 34, I know I had asked this, maybe you can reiterate the answer. The crossing guards, where are we at with that?
So the crossing guards are in communication at the town. We're looking at currently where our crossing guards are to see if we can shift any of them, which ones are really needed. Because there's been a lot of, we've had the same assignments over long periods of time. We may need to look at that because they may have to place something else, another safety guard there instead of just having a crossing guard. So like, for example, we know that were informed last week that they're putting in the flashing beacon in front of Lloyd and Ivy, right? Lloyd and Ivy. So there's still going to be a crossing guard there to press the button for the kids and everything. So the crossing guard will remain there, and that's part of a larger project. But it is another layer of kids arriving to school safe for those girls.
So the last time we followed up about the crossing guards, if I'm correct, we didn't have any on 34.
Correct.
So therefore, that would be on the town to hire, because at the very minimum, if we're talking about our kids crossing that, we were hoping that they would at least be able to hire a couple before the new school year, which would also help these parents with the freshmen piece, them. And Danielle isn't here, but she also had mentioned, or we've talked about this, cluster stops where they don't have to stop on one side, stop on the other side, however that may look, but the crossing guards really would be ideal. So
that is a budgetary item that would be a budgetary item for the towns to do that, which was not budgeted for, which is why we went back and we need to evaluate currently where our crossing guards are. The chief was out on vacation, so we were impacted them this week. So that's why we have to look at what we have and see if we can shift that over. The other piece too is that 34 was not a priority in terms of the crossing guard because it's high school kids. So the thought process, while we know that the high school kids are crossing later, and not later, I apologize, but early in the morning, but it's not maybe dark. There's other ways like to get through 34, is what I was told, but they're well aware that we have concerned residents that are concerned about crossing there. Especially with all of them now, it's just a heavier traffic.
yeah,
Which is what
I mean, first of all, we don't have any extra, in my opinion, crossing guards where we could move from A to B. We need every single body that we have, if not more. Secondly, it should be a no-brainer to have a crossing guard on 34. As an adult, whether it's light day or not, I don't want to run across 34. So, I can't imagine how much money a crossing guard makes, but that would really make a huge difference. I don't, other than to plead, beg, and borrow, I don't know what else to do about that because we don't hire them. But yeah, thank you. If you could follow up with them on that, that would be even better. And I think that was it for busing. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. President.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions or comments about the policies on the agenda? Okay, seeing none. We move to the finance agenda.
evening, we're looking to take action on payroll for the month of July, as well as the bills list for August, transfer funds for July, board secretaries for July, paying all major fund status for July, the treasurer's report for May, June, and July. 6 will be approving the Board of Education goals for the new year. 7 will be approving the dual use of waiver for educational space as listed in the chart. 8 is the acceptance of the grant funds for the recovery at high school. 9 is the allocation of non-public technology, capstone nursing, security aid, and Chapter 9 Act 3. You do utilize MASC. 10 is for MASC and participating in their cooperative pricing system. This does help us when we need to go out and purchase. That means they've gone out to a multitude of different vendors to see if we can get the best rate possible. And 11 is the Garden State Coalition for the new school year. 12 is the shared service agreement for Belmar for the master teacher. This is something we've done since the inception of the prepay expansion grant. Master teacher goes over 1 day per week, and we do receive revenue back to the district for it. 13 is the acceptance of the donation for the library and gift charity. 14 is the acceptance of the donation for WAC and received $500 from them. And then 15 is Costco. They were able to provide backpacks, I believe 100 to Cocoa Entry. 16 is the use of Lloyd Road Elementary as an emergency shelter for Home Away from Home Academy. And 17 is the memorandum of understanding for the therapy dogs that were at Lloyd last year and then will be visiting again this year. And then 18, last but not least, is the fire evacuation drills for the month of July.
Thank you. Can I have a motion and a second to accept the finance agenda?
All motion. I'll second.
Any questions or comments about the finance agenda? I did want to note that I just, as usual, bored by the activities of the community to support our schools, including raising $11,000 for the music theater program. That's enormous. And yet, not to say, not to minimize the efforts of Costco in donating $500 in backpacks, and also Wagner's Marina, because I can't wait to see the garden with the boat in it. That's going to be fun. So, yes, thank you to local businesses and community. Okay. Well, with that, let's move to public comments. Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on matters of interest to the school community. Individuals wishing to speak must state their name and municipality of residence. Comments are limited to 3 minutes duration, but an individual may speak a second time after all others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard. All statements should be directed to the board president, and no participant may address or question board members individually. All speakers are requested to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect to the dignity and privacy of others whose legal rights may be affected. Please note, while it is not the board's intention to stifle comment on matters of legitimate concern, the public should be aware that if their statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, they may face personal liability to the injured party. If speakers are uncertain of the legal ramifications of their comments, the board urges them to seek guidance beforehand from their legal advisor.
So first, I just want to say I haven't been here in a while. My son had his graduation and I was on a vacation, so I have not been here for the last 2 meetings. You held the fort down. I haven't heard anything crazy going on, so good job, Tara. But I do want to say that I've been the president here since 2016, and we had, I think, was our most productive negotiations this go-around. So kudos to the board team, kudos to the MAREA team for working together and really having an honest dialogue with one another about what each side needs and where we can come to an agreement, and also recognizing where we knew we were going to hit walls that we were never going to get through, and a little bit of pressure here or there, but knowing when to relent. So I do want to say not only to the board team, but also to the Board of Ed, we appreciate you guys ratifying the contract. We thought we were going to be able to sign it tonight, but the table of contents pages are not cooperating, so we shall see. The question that I do have is regards to the cell phone policy. So I didn't see it up on the website, which is okay. I just want to know what are those changes that are being proposed within the policy?
Just so you can find it, Tim.
Yeah.
When you click on the agenda,
Yeah.
you go down to policy, it's hyperlinked right in.
Oh, in the okay, so,
Just so
gotcha.
you know where to find it.
Okay, all right, fine. Okay, gotcha.
It was, could I possibly either, whoever wants to, maybe go over?
So basically,
The big changes, the highlights.
we're referring to all the policies already on the books in one place and saying that we will be enforcing, we will be expecting them to be enforced as outlined in, and all the policies are listed in that new policy. So really, we're just, I think the intention was to have one place to refer to as an umbrella, to give the staff and the building administration support so that they feel confident in enforcing the policies that are already there. Because we all know that they're kind of just looking the other way because they don't want to have that fight. But I think that the success at the middle school, now coming into the high school, those kids know what to expect, and I think it'll get easier as the older grades move on.
Okay.
I think it's kind of gonna be second nature. So there's nothing new in there. It's really just reiterating what's already on the books and putting it in one place where it can be referred to a student, parent, everybody, like, this is it. It's been here, you know, it's no more looking the other way.
Gotcha.
And that these pertain to Southern.
Yes.
Yeah, so, Mr. Rocco, we decided, in looking through with admin, we had asked the last meeting, all the electronic devices, there's so much in there and it includes so many things. So we really just wanted to pull the cell phone out, have a very tight, small policy that refers only to cell phones, because let's face it, that's really what we're talking about. And middle school seems to do very well with it. The high school obviously is a challenge, but we wanted staff and admin to know that we will back them and that this policy is, you know, enforceable and that it should be non-negotiable. But we would back them if there's an issue or a concern, or if a parent comes forward, or if a child is disruptive, or whatever the case may be. We just want phones off, obviously for social media reasons, issues in the classroom, cheating, a list of things. So the high school,
So
We think
is it phones off or phones not visible? So like at the middle school, I'll give you an example. And I don't think I'm saying anything out of school here. We had very good, it was my first year there, I had heard that it was so much better than it had been. And quite frankly, one of the only ways you can get a pencil back from a kid that you loan it to them is if you tell them, give me your phone, as a trade for the pencil. So it had a little bit of leverage there. But, you know, might have had a kid in my class where his phone fell out of his pocket twice, and I'm like, just put it on my desk. They weren't using it, it was just falling out and becoming a distraction. The only thing that I want to keep people mindful of, and I'm just thinking from my own personal life with my wife, and any of you that have daughters that may have to dance or cheer, schedules can change at a moment, and if you have a son that can drive, you may need to be able to get in touch with him during the day as a senior. I don't know if there's any provisions in there where like kids that can drive have the ability to contact their parents or get a text, because like if my phone is off or in my pocket and I'm not really allowed to look at it, but I'm getting communication from my mom, for argument's sake, I don't think that they want the office being called, hey, can you tell Derek that he's got to go pick up his sister today?
Actually,
So at the high
maybe we could ask Mrs. Perez, I believe we do want the office called.
That's at the middle school. That's at the middle. So at the high school, you can have your phone during passing time.
Right.
In the bathroom, in the cafeteria. No.
No.
passing time.
Passing time and lunch. You can have your phone passing time lunch. So if your parent is sending you a message, you're going to have a chance to check it every 40 minutes.
So here's a question, because I know I'm over time, but there's no one behind me. So just in playing this out, because this happens. You know, kids go to the bathroom, they're taking a test. Now, in math, it really doesn't matter, because you either know how to do the math or you don't. But let's say you have a study guide for social studies. and you have to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom, your phone could be in your pocket. How does the teacher know you actually have your phone or don't? Now you're in the bathroom and it's, well, I had to use the bathroom. I'm just saying it's not foolproof in the way that we do it. I mean, if we see kids that have phones, I think one of the things we can say to them is before they go to the bathroom, you have to put your phone on my desk. It could be a way in terms of utilizing the pass to go to the bathroom. I know that, and I don't know what they do at the high school here, but I know in Freehold Regional, there are some teachers that have the hanging wall pockets, and they call it a phone hotel, and the kid, when they come in, have to put their phone in there. And that's just the
So
policy.
we talked about all of those things. Anything that a teacher wants to do in their classroom, they have full discretion to do however they want. Take the phone when the kids go to the bathroom for the bathroom pass. We're on board with all that. The main purpose of this was to reduce cell phone, being on your cell phone during instructional time, because kids are playing video games while they're supposed to be learning. We know that, right? So that's like the main purpose of this is that you're in school to learn. Please give your teacher the full attention. That's number one. And then secondarily, trying to avoid social media and bullying, using the phone for bullying and all of that. So the best we can do, I mean, the more we can do better than we have been doing is our goal.
Okay.
So whatever, I mean, using what's in the policy that we're adopting tonight, I'm on all for teachers making a phone hotel or anything like that. We didn't specify that in the policy because there are some teachers that may say, I don't want the responsibility of someone taking the wrong phone, or it getting stolen, or going missing, and then it's on my watch that it went missing, or anything like, or it gets damaged, you know. So if they want to, whoever wants to do anything to help enforce what's there, we love it. So I think we want to leave that up to the teachers to get creative, or however they feel their students will receive it the best. But our goal is that we want to eliminate distractions, cheating, and giving yourselves a 6-hour break from the noise of the phone.
Would there, I'm just thinking more on the high school level, I would never have a reason for a kid to have a phone, but I'll give you an example of a project I did in the elementary school with another teacher. We were doing geometry, and it would have been so lovely if the kids had phones, because we were having them go out to the playground at Boyd Road right here and taking pictures of different geometric shapes so they could identify them, and they needed their Chromebooks. So they're trying to snap a picture with the Chromebook, which at their age was kind of difficult. So is there anything within the policy, like I said, I would never use it for that gives a teacher any leeway if they feel that they could use it for an instructional purpose?
I mean,
Or is it not even something where
no.
Okay. No, and by the way, I'm not advocating for that, I'm just asking. That's fine, because I know that question.
But I do think, Ms. Roca, if a teacher wants to take it upon,
No, if the policy is black and white, no, then that's the policy.
But-
I'm just
but
looking for
What I'm saying is,
clarification.
if it's a learning lesson, no.
Is that's a slippery slope?
Okay, well, if I'm thinking if the teacher wants to hang their phone on a hotel, that's up to them. So I'm thinking, okay, listen, at the end, all we want is them to just not use their phone.
Yeah, I just want to know, the staff know what
I
their
get it.
limitations are on how those phones can actually be used within the classroom.
This is to be reviewed, right, with staff?
Yeah,
I believe so.
And the reason why I'm saying that is, years ago, when QR codes first came out, one of the selling points that we had a technology person here, she doesn't work here anymore, but she was teaching teachers how to use it, and if kids had cell phones, you could put it right on the door jamb, and it could be a do now when they come in. So some high school teachers took advantage of that. So they need to know, hey, that's a off-limits.
I think we've learned a lot more in the last
I
few
agree.
years.
I agree.
So I think the teachers will agree that for the sake of a do now, let's just not use it.
No, you can put it, well, this was before Google Classroom and all that, so there's a bunch of
And we also did ask Mr. Roca for check-ins. So just to, for admin to say, hey, how are you guys doing with it? Is everything okay? Just so that we're getting some feedback on what they're seeing in the classrooms. That's the most challenging. So the teachers, if they have feedback, that would be awesome for us too moving forward.
Okay, sounds good.
And my apologies for just speaking. Coming straight out of, as you know, my son is he just finished the middle school where it is, even if you did want to use your cell phone to call your parents, it's almost impossible inside that building, so he always called from the office, and I assume
Yeah.
that's the rule there.
Like I said, I thought it worked well there, so it's good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Absent any other public comment, I think we can vote on agenda items. Okay, I guess, just do a roll call vote on all the agenda items together?
Ms. Stiles? Yes. Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Mr. McGovern?
Yes.
Mr. Montone?
Yes.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Wernicke?
Yes, I need to abstain from personnel, item C, line 1.
So noted. Mrs. Bullet?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes. Does anybody have any unfinished business or new business?
So if I could, Mr. Baroka, I know you weren't here at the meeting where we did discuss it, what was on the agenda, but I want to agree with you 100%. I thought this process, the negotiation process, was a very smooth process, very efficient in terms of how we handled it. Thank you to you, your team, negotiations team, admin, because I feel like we did all this into each other. Very open discussions like I haven't seen before, which I thought was fantastic. We all discussed issues, how we could potentially fix them. And I felt like it was just such a great, respectful process that I hope in 4 years, for those that don't know, it's a 4-year contract. Process happens.
No, I just, a couple, to add on to that, I also want to say, this was only my second negotiations, but it was, as everybody said, it was easy, it was fast, it was respectful, but I would like to note that Mrs. Foley saved us $750 by typing the contract.
With Mr. Burrow.
Right, and that, honestly, in all seriousness though, Annette is like, I told her she has to get a job and be paid because she's unbelievable with, she even corrects Mr. Baroka when he doesn't catch spelling.
I'm human.
But no, she's been amazing and thank God for her. Her attention to detail and to save us money. So if it wasn't for Annette, and I'm being honest, the last 2 times. Just a couple quick questions. The demographer, I know you guys said we're meeting, or you're meeting, I'm sorry, the town. So they're going to work with the liaison from the town?
Yes, we just need a liaison from the town for the demographer. As soon as we meet with them, we'll have some.
Do they have a liaison? Or
No,
they're
they
going
need to work with like the planning and construction
Oh, oh.
committee, so when there's questions as they're reviewing documents, they have someone to reach out to.
Got it. And then lastly, I think I asked this question, but it didn't come up on the question, so I don't even know if I typed it out. I know we had spoke about updating the elementary handbook about not bringing in things that could be a concern or dangerous. I wasn't able to get into any of those handbooks. Is that going to be in there, or is that a thing?
Yes, we're working with the principals K to 3, and then we also reached out to the principals to update the link so it can be public. So they're going to have that. I'm
Okay.
sure the next day or so we'll be able to click on it.
Perfect. Thank you.
2 quick things. So, Mr. Roca, just to reiterate what I was saying before, I think we want to arm the teachers with what they need to, get the kids to put their phones away. So, the teacher being able to say, this is what the board wants, this is what the admin, the superintendent wants, they could blame it on us and it gets them off the hook a little bit. That's fine with us too, or at least me. The other thing that I wanted to bring up was, I've been talking to Ms. Perez a little bit about how we're going to handle anything that might come up this fall with students who want to voice their you know, exercise our freedom of speech in terms of any hot-button issues that are going on. So I just wanted to make sure that it's somehow in the handbook or reiterated that, you know, anything during instructional time that takes the student out of the classroom, like a walkout or anything like that. I know in my tenure with the high school, there was a walkout. I think my oldest was a freshman, and it was extremely disruptive, and half the kids didn't even know what they were walking out for. So anything like a sit-in or a walkout where it's out of instructional time, I mean, feel free to discuss issues, debate, where, you know, support their person, whatever. I just don't want it to interfere with instructional time. So I don't know how to make sure that happens.
So for those different days, the building admin, we hold certain policies that they will cover at their faculty meetings. So those policies that we discussed, the controversial issues, and then the political, I think it was like political views or something for teachers and staff, those policies will be reviewed at their faculty meetings. And then that's obviously as we get closer to, you know, the debates happening in September, that is going to be continued to be re-emphasized and also spoken about in class, but also coming from administration, particularly the high school, those topics. So we talked about it with the administration, both at the middle school and high school level, in terms of whether to put it in the code of conduct or not. We felt that two things could happen. One, it could get lost because parents weren't reviewing it and kids weren't reviewing it. And the other, or it could cause them to plan. So you could have both scenarios. So we then just decided as a team that let's focus on that in the fall and let that be a discussion on how to have conversations about issues or things that are going on.
The first week of August, the summer theater workshop did an amazing job doing the production of the movies. So you didn't get to go 3 times like I did. I hope you all got to know one time, and Mr. Wells and Ms. Ryder and Ms. Hines are just amazing, and they made it all happen, and it was beautiful, and it was as if these kids have been working on it for 6 months. It's great. It's great.
Something I wanted to bring up that I was speaking with Mrs. Sproul, who's not here, and I was thinking the same thing, and I didn't want to surprise anybody about it. We don't have to decide anything tonight, but some of the discussion I had with admin, and perhaps we do, when we make the calendar for next year, maybe we do need to have 2 meetings in July and 2 meetings in August. I know that a lot of, like, we may have limited attendance at times, but there's been so much on these agendas it's just something to consider. I'm not saying anybody decide tonight, but the school year keeps going, like full year round, and it's a lot to squeeze in to 2 meetings in the summer. So this is something that was brewing that I was thinking about. I wanted to share. Is there any other new business or unfinished business? Okay. I will read the resolution, but then you can ask for a motion in a second. Be resolved that a closed session be convened for the purpose of discussing privacy, personnel, and legal matters. The subject matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. Although the board cannot guarantee it, the length of the executive session is estimated to be an hour. After which the public meeting of the board shall reconvene and proceed with business. Action will not take place. Can I have a motion and a second to enter executive session?
I'll motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're now in executive session.